Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello guys, this is Mohsin Azam interacting with you from my YouTube channel Business Innovation. Today we are going to start our 14th lesson of Excel tutorial. The topic which we will discuss here is statistical formula. In the statistical formula, first of all we will start with average, then Averageif, Averageifs, count, CountA, CountBlank, Countif, Coutifs, large, small, rank, maximum and minimum. So first of all we will start with average. This function will give us the average of the given set of number. The average formula or function can take up to 255 arguments. You can select cell or group of cell or number. You can in the average formula you can input the data as a number, or you can select cell or number of cells one by one, or you can select range of cell. Average formula: ignore cell having text or blank. Okay, so first of all we will calculate the average in cells. So average tab, and then I will select cells one by one, comma here, comma, close the bracket. It give me 113. Now in the second of example we'll select average with the range of cells. So AVE or tab, I'll select the range which is highlighted and I will close my bracket. See, the same result will come. Now third is average with cell and range of cell. So for example, now if I select here one cell and the other remaining cells is a one range, and by closing bracket it will give us the same result. Average with number cells and range of cell. Now in the third example I will use the number also. So instead of selecting this 100, I will write here the number followed by comma, then the second cell reference, and the third I will select the range of cells, and it will give us the same results also. Now average with 0. For example, if you want to calculate the average of range of cell having 0, what it will display? Average tab, and now the same highlighted range I will select in addition with one more cell having 0. So see here 97, it's not 113, because from the highlighted the average result was 113.4, but by including the 0 it will consider the cell having 0 in the average, so it will give us 97 instead of 113. Now average with blank or text in a cell. So for example, average tab, and then with this blank cell I will select row, and by closing bracket will give us 11. So 11 is the average of these three number, 10.7 basically, which is round to 11. So any average function having blank cell or tag will not consider it in the average formula, and it will give us the average for the cells having numbers only. Okay, after this we have Averageif. The function will give us the average of the given set of number with condition. So now the same as it's clear from the name of the function that Averageif function will give us the average with certain condition. Average function takes three arguments. The first is range, then the criteria, and then the average range, which is optional. So let's start with first of all with the two arguments. So what we will do, we will write here Averageif and tab. Now what my function is asking me, the range, from which range you want to calculate average. So I will select the range here, for example this column, this complete column, and then I will click comma. Now the function is asking me criteria. So criteria I will define it to double inverted comma greater than 200, and then I will close the inverted comma and close the bracket, and it will give us 241. So greater than 200, if we see here, from here by selecting all which is greater than 200 will give us 241 as a average. So it's clear from here that it is 241.8. Next, average with three arguments. So Averageif tab. Now I will select the range from here. For example, this is my range. Now criteria. My criteria is, so what I select here is a range. I select here the items, and now from this range, what I need this average of the snakers. So I will select here the criteria as snakers, and then what I will do, I will input here the average range. So from here I want to calculate the average. From current income I want to calculate the average, so I will select this column, and by closing bracket, clicking enter, it will give us 166.6. So let's see now. Click here from snaker, this one, control this one, control this one, control this one, control this one. It will give us 166.6. So like this you can utilize the average formula. Average with 3 argument but approximate match. Here what we did here in the second example, F14 exact, we select here snaker is a criteria, the full name of snakers. Now in the next example, what we will do, we will calculate the average but with approximate argument. So for example, what we will do here, average if, and then tab, and then this, what I will do, the same criteria range, I will select here this entire column, and now criteria, instead of selecting a cell, what I will do, put inverted comma followed by the star sign, and then instead of selecting the snaker, now here I will write here only SN double inverted comma, and then put comma here, and again I will select this entire range, and then I will close my brackets. It will give us the same result. The next is Averageifs. So the Averageif function, this function gives us the average of the given set of numbers with condition. So as we discussed in Averageif, it will give us the average of the set of numbers with a certain condition. But in Averageifs, we can increase the number of criteria or conditions. So average function take more than one criteria. In the previous example, in case of Averageif, the criteria which we defined was single criteria. But if you have more than one criteria, you can use the Averageif function, ifs function. So an Averageif function, what are the arguments? It will be the average range. So first you have to select the range from where you want to calculate the average. After this you have to define the criteria. You have to select criteria range and then criteria, second criteria range followed by second criteria. So let's see, average if followed by tab. Now what my function is asking, average range, from where you want to select the average. So I will select here the same column followed by comma. For the criteria 1 range, I will select here the employees followed by, what is my criteria here, after criteria range, now criteria, I will select here Ryan as my criteria. Now the function is asking the second criteria range. So for the second criteria range, I will select here the item is the second criteria range followed by comma, and the second criteria is snaker, and then I will close my bracket. So what I input, date from employee, if the employee name is Ryan and the cookie or the item is snaker, I need the average of the current month income. It will give us 137. Select here all one by one. It will give us 137, which is clearly written here, average. Okay, after this count, so this function will count the number of cells that have numbers. So count function will just only count the cell that contain numbers. Okay, so let's see one example. For example, here count tab, and then what I will do, I will select this entire row by closing bracket, enter. So it will give us the count of entire column. Instead of using column, what I will do, I will use row. So count tab, and then I will select this entire row in my table, and I will close my bracket. It will give me 3. So here if you see, I have here in my selection 5 cells, but the count function is giving me the number of counts as 3 because the 2 cells have text and the 3 cells have number. So the count function will give us the count of the cells that contain numbers only. Next is CountA. CountA will count the cells that are non-empty. CountA will count all the cells which are not empty from the range which I select. Closing the bracket, it will give me 5. And if you see here, I have 5 cells. Next is CountBlank. It will count only the empty cells. So CountBlank tab, and from here if I select this entire row with one additional cell, closing bracket, it will give me 1, because in this entire selection now only one cell is empty. Okay, after this the next function is CountIf. So the function will count the number of cells when particular criteria satisfy. Now, as we discussed in before in average, we are calculating the average by using only average formula, but in Averageif we were using certain condition to calculate the average of the group of cells or range of cells. Here same in the counts as in the previous example, we discuss only how the count function is working. Now we will combine this count function with certain conditions. So it's taking two arguments. One is range and the second one is criteria. So the first example is what I will do. CountIf. I will click here tab, and now what I will do, I will select the range. So I will select from here the entire range, and now I will define my criteria. Count if greater than 200 and close the bracket. It will give us 7, because if you check here 203 and onward, these are 7 numbers. So it will give us the count for the numbers which is greater than 200, sorry. After this, count with text and partial data. So now CountIf tab. Now I will select this employees list, and now I will define my criteria as contain AD only. So I need the cell which contain AD only, the count of the cell which contain the names having AD only. So it will give us 4, and it's as it's highlighted here that Adil contain AD, and these are 4 in numbers. After this, CountIf with text by selecting the cell. Okay, in this example, CountIf tab, and now I will select the range, and after this, what is my criteria? Spacers, and then I will close the bracket, and it will give me 5, because in this entire list as it's highlighted there are 5 spacers. After this we have CountIfs. In CountIf, what we can do, in term of CountIf we can use only one criteria. So with one range you can use one criteria, but in CountIfs function, what you can do, the function will give us the count of the given set of numbers with more than one conditions or criteria. The CountIf function takes more than one criteria. So the arguments which we will have in CountIf function is criteria range 1, then criteria range 2, and then criteria. So let's see. We'll start from an example. CountIfs tab. Now my function is asking me the criteria 1, range 1. So I will select this column and comma. Now criteria range, criteria 1. So I will put here double inverted comma and greater than 200, and I will close the inverted comma, and now another comma. Now criteria range 2. So I will select the second criteria here, criteria range and comma. Now the function is asking me the second criteria, so less than, here I will select less than 220, and then I will close my bracket and click enter. So the function is giving me only 2. What it means, that in the entire selection I need the numbers which are greater than 200 but less than 220. So these are only 2. Okay, after this we have Lerge. Lerge will give us the first, second, third, and so on large value. Okay, so what the Lerge function will do, the Lerge function will give us the large value, first large value, second large value, third large value. So for the large value, first large value, what we will do, I will select here the large tab, and then the array from where you need the large. So here I will select this array followed by, now which large value, you need. In the first large value, if you need, you have to input here 1, and by closing the bracket, enter 273 is the largest in this entire range, which is here. Okay, the next is, what about the same with third large value? So what I will do here, large tab followed by selecting this entire range, and then I will write here 3 because I need the third large value. So it is 248, which if we see here, this is 247.6 is actually 248, the rounded one. Now large with error, what it will do, for example, if you have in the range some error, what large function will reflect? So I will here write here large followed by tab, and now I will select this range because here I have here one error. So I will select here, and then followed by, for example, first large value. By clicking enter, it will give us the error. After this small function, also same as we discussed in case of large, small function will give us the first, second and third, or whatever the small value you want from the selection, it will give us. So for example, small followed by tab, selecting the range followed by first because I need the first large, closing the bracket, it will give us the smallest value from the entire selection, which is 98, which is here. Same is the case if you need third one, so it will give us the third one. If you have any error, what it will reflect? Selecting the range where we have error followed by 1, I need the first small. So if the range having the error, the small function will reflect the error as an output. Okay, now next we will start rank EQ and rank average. So what a rank function will do? Rank function will give us the ranking of a number from a range. So for example, if I input here rank followed, this is the rank tab, the function will ask me number. So for example, if I need the ranking of this number, which is 4, and after this the reference. So for reference, I will select this entire column and then order. Here I need the ascending order, the ranking in ascending order or in descending order. So I will write here in ascending order, and by closing bracket, it will give me 4. So from this entire selection, which we select, the ranking of this cell is 4. If you replace this one by 0, means for descending order, it will give us 25. So how it is 25? If you start from here, from last, and if you reach up to 4, the ranking or the position of 4th is 25. After this, ranking EQ. So rank EQ and ranks are basically same, and the same for rank EQ tab, the function will ask me the number. I will select here 6 followed by the reference from range. So the reference, I will select here this entire column again, followed by the order. Here I will use 1 as ascending order and click enter. It will give me 7. As we select here this 6. So the order or the rank of this 6 is 7 if you use the ascending order. but if you use the descending, same, it will be 21st. Now we have one comparison here. Before discussing this rank average, we will compare here the rank with the rank average. So for example, if I have here any number, I will start from rank followed by tab and then the first number of this range followed by the entire range followed by 1 for the ascending order. And what I will do, I will fetch these two by clicking F4 and now I will click here Ctrl C and I will click here Ctrl V. So these are basically the ranking. The ranking of this 5 is 5 and the ranking of another next 5 is also 5. But if you see here, the ranking of 6 is 7. Why it is 7? Because if you start from here 1 2 3 4 5, if you reach here 5, so here we have 2 repeated 5s in the range. So the rank function will give us the ranking of both these two numbers as 5 5 from the selection. But if you proceed with the next cell, which is 6 and followed by 6 again, so how my function will calculate the rank by counting here so if you reach here up to 5, this will be our 5th and this will be our 6th, and the cell having 6 will be our 7th number. So but after this again 6, so it will give us the ranking as 7. It will skip the 6 because already we have repeated 5 5. Same here, after if you click here for the 7, the rank function skip 8 because 7 is repeating 2 times. And after this, if you see here after 9, 10th is skipped because 9 is repeating 2 times. Now with the same range, if we use rank average function, so what it will display, rank average tab followed by number followed by range, the same range I will select, followed by the same as ascending, and I will fix these two, this range I will fix is by clicking F4 from your keyboard, enter. Now I will click here Ctrl V. So if you see here for this 5, for the 5 the rank is given here 5.5, and for the next 5 the rank is same given here 5.5. So how it is calculating in rank equal or rank function, the ranking of these two numbers was 5 and 5, but here it is giving 5.5 for both these numbers. How it is giving, if you see here from your range, the 5 is locating on the 5th position, and after this 6, the next 5 is locating on the 6th position, and as I wrote here, these both 5 5 are located on 5 and 6 position. So what the rank average will do, rank average will take the average of these two positions. So the average of 5 and 6 will be 5.5, so it will display here 5.5. After this, for 6, these two 6, as these two 6 are repeating, so if you check from the list here, this 6 is the 7th position and the next 6 is 8th position. See, because it is coming count as 8. So if you see here, both this 6 and 7, for them the rank is 7.5 because the average of 7 and 8 will be 7.5. So like this, the average rank and ranks are differed. A rank average will calculate the average of the position of two numbers, and it will display the average as the output. After this, maximum and minimum. As it's clear from the name, maximum function will give us the maximum value from the selection, and minimum function will give us the minimum value from the selection. So for example, if I write here max followed by a tab and then select range, and by closing bracket, it will give us the maximum number, which is 25. And for minimum, tab, select the range, and it will give us the minimum number. So that's it for today's discussion. If you like the video, please follow and like my Facebook page Business Innovation and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.